constitutes the basis of our whole country.
Very kind. Thank you all very much. Are there like 500,000 people here? How many? This is unbelievable. Every year, I would say it every year I come, it's 1,000 people. It's 5,000 people. 10,000. Now this year I think we've reached about 4 million people. This is packed to the gills, people everywhere. Thank you very, very much. It is always great to be at America Fest, which, through the efforts of TPUSA and TPUSA's founder, has become the largest, most energetic, most crucial gathering of young conservatives in the country. America Fest is always a highlight of the year on the American right. It has to be if we're going to sneak away from our families and abandon the kids right before Christmas. It is always got to be, and it always is, fabulous. It's especially important, however, for us all to be here this year to pay tribute to our great friend, Charlie Kirk. Everyone in this room, I suspect, has paid tribute to Charlie in some way or other over the past few months. The way everything happened, Charlie and I actually were supposed to host an event together 12 days after a leftist ended his life. Many more events followed. Charlie, as you all know, had a lot of friends. He had roughly 30 or 40,000 friends, I think, actually many more than that. They came in and they helped to finish that tour as well. Amid all of the tributes, people have praised Charlie's debate skills. It was very unfortunate to be on the wrong side of Charlie debating. He was very good at it. They've praised Charlie's ability to fundraise, his power to motivate voters, and, in the words of the White House Chief of Staff, to make the winning difference in the presidential election. He did all of those things at as high a level as anyone in the country. But Charlie's distinctive skill, his distinctive gift among so many, his most Christian gift, was his ability to make peace within a fractious coalition. Erica spoke beautifully about this earlier. Blessed are the peacemakers. Everyone and his mother has an opinion. It is not hard to have an opinion. It is not hard to pick fights, to accuse, to gossip, to defame, and to revile. In our age, it can be very lucrative. What's more, it can be entertaining. What is harder is to build, to refine, to assuage, to unite, and to advance. What is harder is to mediate, to harmonize, to suffer setbacks with patience, and to offer grace to those who often don't deserve it. Charlie did the harder thing. Why did he do it? Why did he do any of it? Ultimately, he would say it was for his faith in Christ. Politically, he did the harder thing because he knew we had to win. Charlie was a great debater, but he understood that politics is not debate club. There are real threats, real costs to losing. There are real goods to be won. And there is a real chance that we can win if we are willing to sacrifice some pride and put in the often thankless work of keeping a team or an army together moving down the field. This is the last event that Charlie will have left us. That hit me this morning and as I was flying out here. This is the last one. He planned out his tour, he wrote his book, and this is the last one. The people on this stage, and the many more people in the seats, all of you, you are the people that he invited. This is the team. This is the army. right here. You might not like some of the people that he brought onto the team. You might prefer that he invited some people that he excluded from the team. But this is it. And whatever you think, the leftists who perpetrated, excused, justified, and celebrated Charlie's assassination make no distinctions between any of us, any of the people in this room. We are all the same to them. So what are we doing here? We are paying tribute to our friend, and we are charting a path forward, a task made much more difficult in the absence of our generation's political peacemaker, without whose leadership we find ourselves in the latest right-wing civil war. I say the latest right-wing civil war because there's always some civil war going on the right. Right-wingers are too independent-minded to avoid it. There are, by my count, two factions on the left. There are the progressives and the very progressives. And John Fetterman. If I'm being fair, there's also John Fetterman. There is, whatever he is. On the right, however, we have the populists, the fusionists, the neocons, the paleocons, the Wall Street conservatives, the Main Street conservatives, the religious right, the irreligious right, the libertarians, the traditionalists, and half a dozen other ideologies in the middle, all vying for power, all accusing the others of not being truly or sufficiently conservative. Now, all of these factions conveniently point to some period or other in the long history of American conservatism to prove that they are the sole true keepers of the conservative flame. The free-trading fusionists accuse the pro-tariff populists of betraying the true conservatism of Ronald Reagan. Never mind that Reagan protected steel and cars and automobiles and semiconductors. Forget about that part. They're the true conservatives. The neocons accuse the foreign policy realists of abandoning the truly conservative global leadership of George W. Bush. Never mind that George W. Bush campaigned for president on foreign policy restraint and against nation building. Forget about that. The classical liberals accuse the post-liberals, the boomers accuse the zoomers, and on and on and on and on. Each faction claims that true conservatism includes only its own narrow ideology. The actual history of the American right tells a different story. In America alone, the right has been the party of tariffs. It actually founded on tariffs. And then we hated tariffs, and now we kind of like tariffs again. We were the party against immigration. Then we really liked immigration. We said all the immigrants are American. They just don't know it yet. And now we don't like immigration again. I think that's pretty clear. We have been the party of foreign policy restraint, and then of adventurism, now of restraint again. Does this mean, therefore, that we stand for nothing? No, it does not. It means that we respond to reality. If there is one thing conservatives pride ourselves on, it is our relationship to reality. The left has no relationship to reality. The left castrates little boys to try to make them into little girls. But conservatives do respond to reality. And one of the crucial facts about reality is that circumstances change. Politics is not some pure science of abstract ideals. It is the practical art of applying eternal principles to constantly changing circumstances among real people in a specific place and time. Is that too wordy? Well, I'll simplify it. Politics is about getting along together. That's what it comes down to. It's built into our human nature, and we cannot survive without it. So how do we get along? How do we get along as a country? At the highest level, we cannot get along with leftists who want to murder us. We cannot do it. It's not possible. Would that we could, but we can't. The people who minimize and justify and even celebrate the murder of innocent conservatives for political disagreement, can't get along with them. The embrace of political violence is only growing on the left. This is backed up by survey after survey. Even a major liberal magazine had to admit it. To get along as a country, then, we need to restore order and de-radicalize the left. To do that, we need to keep winning. We have been winning. We are winning more. We need to keep winning. We have to do it. There is no substitute for victory. Anyone who tells you that we don't need to win, forget about the midterms, forget about 28, forget about politics. Anyone who tells you that we shouldn't try to win, tune that person out. That person is a loser. I want nothing to do with that person. The squishes on the right who tell you that it's preferable to lose with dignity than to what? Than to try and to win. Or the doomers who tell you that it's impossible to win anyway, so just forget about it. You know, why even try? Losers, every single one of them. Tune them out, ignore them. There is something in all that blackpilling for them, for the broadcasters. There is nothing in it for you. Cynics can profit off despair. Citizens cannot. Tune it out. We need to win. Have I been clear about that? We need to win. If we are going to get along as a country, we, the right, need to win. And to keep winning, we need to get along with each other. So how do we do it? How do we unite? Do we let just anyone in? Well, the door is wide open, just like the border, right? No, obviously not. All political movements have boundaries. I know that we're supposed to be against cancel culture now. I never was, actually. I've always looked on the bright side of cancel culture. This is another one of those shifts on the right. Before we were the party of absolute free speech, anything goes. We were the party of Joe McCarthy. We were the party of canceling communists. We were the party of standards. I think standards are very good and very conservative. So no. We don't just take anybody in. Some things are out of bounds. Injustice, cruelty, vulgar hatred on the basis of race or sex or religion. Not only are those things wrong in themselves, they're politically toxic. Charlie knew to exclude all that stuff. You don't build a winning coalition with a reviling spirit. Fair enough. Some qualities are non-negotiable. It's not all the little ideological hobby horses of the various rival factions. It's not exactly this policy or that policy. The qualities that distinguish the right, that set the standards for the team, are broader than that. To be on the team, in my humble opinion, you have to love our country. Is that simple enough? Many on the left today seem to hate the country. Leftists burn the symbol of the country. They defame the people who built the country. They seek to fundamentally change the country, weaken the country, surrender the country and all of its supposedly stolen land. Those people are not on my team. If you love this country, if you want this country to succeed and get stronger and flourish, you know what? You're on my team. We're on the team together. To be on the team, you have to acknowledge that there is such a thing as the American people. We're not just an idea floating in outer space. We are a real people with a real historical lineage and a real historical destiny. We came here on the Mayflower, which is a great cigar brand, by the way. We came here, thank you. We came here on other ships as well. We landed at Plymouth and Jamestown. We fought a war of independence and plenty of wars after that. We spread across the continent. We have a real historical experience and character that is not magically imbued through a few lines of philosophy or a naturalization pop quiz. At different times, we've taken in foreigners. When it's worked, those foreigners have come to act and talk and even look like us. When it hasn't worked, they haven't. If you prefer the flag of some other nation, the customs and habits of some other people, you are not on my team. If you are and want to be a member of the American people, you are on my team. Simple as. To be on the team, you have to believe certain things. You do not, as the various factions contend, have to believe in some particular marginal tax rate. That's not part of the sacred creed of America. You do not have to believe in some mid to late 20th century slogan about diversity being our strength or America being a nation of immigrants. You do not have to cling to the specific economic orthodoxy of the 1980s. You do not need to worship at the altar of the free marketplace of goods or ideas or anything else. You can, I'm open to that, but the American creed, the conservative creed, is more expansive and responsive than all of that. The American creed, forged, in the words of John Adams, through the general principles of Christianity and of English and American liberty, says that we are one nation under God. We believe that we became a nation under God's grace and according to His providence, and that we have a responsibility to cooperate with that grace according to those principles. If you reject those principles, you are not on my team. If you believe that conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto, in God is our trust, you are on my team. We are fighting together. And finally, to be on the team, you have got to be willing to sacrifice. You have got to be willing to contribute. You have got to be willing sometimes to have patience, to negotiate, to give a little of the things you want. There are plenty of people who are attracted to politics because of what it offers them: fame, money, entertainment. They'll say anything to get another view or make another buck. They don't ever help elect lawmakers. They don't ever help get policy passed. They don't ever work to get out the vote. Sometimes they even discourage civic engagement if it makes for more titillating content. I have no use for those people. Our friend Charlie was entertaining. His enterprises were profitable, and he rightly earned a lot of fame. That was not what drove him. That was not even close. For every viral debate clip that you saw, every podcast or interview that popped off, Charlie was driving countless conversations, negotiations, campaigns behind the scenes, doing everything he could to make sure the wheels didn't come off the wagon of American conservatism, that we kept moving forward, always driving toward the goal of advancing the right, improving the country, winning. Even when it was hard, even when it was thankless, even when there was risk. We are in a period of major change on the right. Unless we amend the Constitution, which is on the table, by the way, but if we don't, President Trump will probably leave office soon. Unless Hillary goes for the three-peat loss, and maybe she should. A round of applause for Hillary running again. I think she'd be even better than Kamala, I think. But I don't think she will, no matter how much we cheer her on. Assuming all of that, the baby boomers will soon exit the political stage. Younger generations will take charge, and the youngest political generation, the Zoomers, will demand solutions to the specific political problems they face in employment, in housing, in a fraying social order. We need to give them answers. They deserve answers, and they are the future of this country, and if the conservative movement is to have any future, it needs to bring them in. Conservatives, a lot of Zoomers in the audience, I see. Conservatives can either confront these new challenges with humility and patience, hearing each other out and refining our message and our vision to match our moment, or each faction can demand all or nothing, retreat to its corner, mumble the same old shibboleths, and hand the country over to the people who would destroy us all together. The worst thing about assassination is that it works. Some people really matter, and it matters when you take them out. And I pray that this will be the exception. I pray that the right can sort out its differences with patience and grace and plot a path forward that leads us all to victory. that we are all here together at this moment, Christmas time, looking ahead to the new year, all together looking ahead to the future of this country at a crucial moment, is an opportunity and a blessing. And I am reminded that blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. God bless Charlie and the Kirk family. God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming.